Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to all of you. Indian eRetail Congress and Awards, which is the second year that we're doing, was actually an idea which came about meeting a lot of SMEs that we were servicing. Just to put some numbers, in those days, it used to be every 8 minutes a retail store used to open which was franchised. Every third dollar in America was being franchised. And it was a few $1 trillion industry, slightly bigger than Indian GDP probably. And with that impact on consumption, like you said, so every corner of the country was speaking franchise. Every entrepreneur was talking about a possible franchise startup. Government was all about promoting franchising to help small businesses grow. And in that environment, it was very obvious that we pick up an idea like franchise. And way back then in India, franchise was an alien word. There was nothing happening on franchise. So he saw it as a great opportunity, and he brought in about 300 concepts. Most of them are live stores today. We go eat, shop on those stores. So idea was to bring those concepts in India and help them grow in India. 15 years. The journey has been fantastic. We today touch about 1 million entrepreneurs, existing businesses every year, help them grow through franchising, start through franchising. Looking back about 15 years, and that's where the idea of eRetail came about, we said we picked up a wrong idea. While many of you would not agree to it, we don't completely agree to it. But really, after late 90s, everything changed in America. Because what was done by franchising, which was probably and still continues to be world's best known marketing and distribution format, a new thing emerged, which was internet. And internet changed everything. The consumer started interacting with the product on his PC, on his mobile. And only thing which changed American consumption in last 15 years probably is internet and e-commerce. So having done franchising for about 15 years, having touched over 360 cities, millions of businesses, I can proudly say any organization in this country after government who does this kind of an organized work in promoting small businesses and helping small businesses grow is Franchise India. Just to put a real picture to that story, we are about 450 people company, spread across 50 cities in India, reaching out about 360 cities through our magazines, websites. We are the world's largest franchise solution company, touching about 7,000 brands. Many of you are e-retailers. That's a huge number. We help them connect with about 1 million B2B retailers, franchisees, channel partners. So that's what we are doing, and that's what we've been doing. And I'm being very candid. We had only 18 people in attendance in World Retail Congress. And all of us were ashamed. And we stepped down talking very big about Indian retail. And we came down, all of us, very saddened about the audience, and we said, why is it that Indian retail has lost its luster or glamour or whatever it was able to create about 5 years back? The simple reason was that we've not been competent. We were still talking about retail which existed probably 3 decades or 2 decades back in US or most of the Western world. And no company spoke about anything other than digital and omni-retail. Nobody. Because everybody was only excited about reducing their brick and mortar retail, enabling those stores to get electronic, talking about how mobile, electronic retail, internet will help us understand customer and service customers. And that's the reality of the business. So what surprises us today, and morning sessions, most of them I attended, I was amazed with the kind of knowledge that we have on that subject in India. I wish that panel in World Retail Congress was not about these brick and mortar retailers. It was actually representing some of the retailers which we had in the morning who were e-retailers. That's one part of the story if I've connected with you and told you what's the importance of e-retail according to us in the retail scenario. But that's only one part of the story. Second part of the story is profitability. In the entire session of Mr. Ajit Joshi, who the entire retail industry respects as one of the finest professionals in the retail business, who was there in the panel this morning, he insisted on only one thing: where is the profitability? Where is the scale? Where is the fulfillment? That aspect of business is very difficult. Having spent 15 years building brick and mortar retail, we understand that you cannot ignore the depth of the business that you create in 15 years. So what excites us the most is how we can enable e-retail to learn from 15 years of retail that we've done. And how do we ensure that these 15 years of retail transform within next 1 year into the best e-retail practices? And that marriage, ladies and gentlemen, is something which we are very excited and committed about. It's very critical for us to understand that where it all connects at one single person, which is consumer. And there is no disconnect or debate about one thing, that we have the largest consumption market in the country. We are the largest marketplace in the world. And everybody is excited about our consumption. It could be Walmart, it could be Amazon. So the excitement of an Indian homegrown retail or e-retail is also about that consumption. And we understand it both at the brick and mortar and the e-retail space. So with this, I leave this as a thought. What we've committed ourselves on is that, like I said, so we are about 450, 500 people company, spread across 16 company-owned operations and about 50 representative offices across India. Touch about 1 million small businesses every year. Do about 90 shows. We run about 4 magazines in partnership with India Today. Reaching out to one of our magazines is the second highest business magazine. We run Retailer, which is the #1 retail magazine in the country. A few websites, we do consulting. What is most interesting is that we have a brokerage business wherein we help 4 shops to open every day. These are physical shops in one part of the country, right from Srinagar to a Dibrugarh to a Kochi. We will have a physical presence and we will transact local businesses. A mom and pop shop can be transformed into a franchise, sold to another one, and these are businesses that we enable every day. So with that as a background, we are committed to help these brick and mortar retailers to get on e-retail and also help e-retailers to grow. Ladies and gentlemen, this show wouldn't have been possible. I personally feel this is one of the finest efforts of Franchise India, the kind of audience we've been able to put together. We thank each one of you for having taken time out, committed to this show. Each and every person that I had a chance to interact this morning was amazed with the kind of energy that we had in the hall, and I genuinely thank you for this. I need to thank a few sponsors without whom this show wouldn't have been possible. Most of all, Ambrish and Pepper Fry. The team's been with us. They've really helped us, not monetarily in terms of sponsoring the show, but also they were great motivation and knowledge partner for us. Google played a very important role in terms of helping us show that commitment towards small business, and a couple of other sponsors that Kavya was able to mention in the morning. This award function is just to benchmark and reward and recognize some best practices in this country. There could be still lot to improve, lot to work upon, but I think they've laid a foundation, and each one of them has done a commendable job. So hope you enjoyed the evening, and people who win, I heartily congratulate them. Thank you very much. Enjoy the evening.